Hoppe is an Austrian economist, obviously, and he does take the a priori knowledge and he's applying it essentially to a lot of history. And he does talk about World War One a lot in this book, and in the introduction specifically about like what happened there. But he takes it through sort of like a rationalist explanation of what's going on, and he bases it in theory, so it makes a lot more sense. Instead of we sort of like being a strict historian, this is what happened and this is what happened and this is what happened. He's getting a little more into the why, and unfortunately, and this is probably part of what he's trying to establish here. History really is written by the winners, and they only let you observe what you want to observe, and they give explanations for why based on what they want you to observe. So, among other things, we've been told basically that democracy is the crowning sort of form of government, and the only thing that can work to secure human rights and so on. And this whole book is about putting that on its head and saying, you know what, here's the a priori rationalistic argument for why it doesn't work. And actually the observations that we've made over the last 100 years kind of show that we're going down this very bad path of all sorts of evil things happening, degeneration of all kinds. And really a deciviliization of society that the opposite should be happening if democracy were this amazingly good thing.
Yes. So we have the empirical version of deriving knowledge, which comes from our senses, and we have this a priori method, which is it's more fundamental, right? Which, to your point, it's almost born of philosophy or part of philosophy, if we define philosophy as trying to get to the fundamental nature of things. But it's been largely disregarded by Keynesian economists. And, it's been, it almost, like Mises said, that economics is the youngest science. It's almost as if we've just recently, in the arc of human history, we've begun to understand that this method of deriving knowledge is more important to economics than Keynesian economics. And the analogy I like here is geometry, right? We know that Euclidean geometry has 5 axioms essentially from which all of its body of knowledge is derived. Economics, in the pure sense here, is sort of similar. We have like man must act, marginal utility of value, and things like this that we can derive many theorems from. Whereas Keynesian economics is suffering from more like the physics envy type thing that it seems like a lot of sciences suffer from, that they want super precise mathematical, empirically verifiable observations for everything to explain everything. And it's just not possible, actually. And there's a difference between physical and metaphysical, because it all comes down to the sense data versus deriving things from reason itself.